You are listening to Traders of the Lost Charts, a social podcast for traders. I am your host, Sarah Ristaino. Today, we will be meeting Nitrous. Traders of the Lost Charts is a Rocky Outcrop community podcast.
Spectacular results of the Ranger and Mariner mission. And the other...
He's a family man who enjoys the way.
Today, we're talking to Nitrous, or as her parents call her, Emily. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. How are you today, Emily?
I'm good. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking time on this Tuesday to sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah.
We met on the Rocky Outcrop Discord. Of course, this is the Rocky Outcrop community podcast, and we're both traders.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, and we're both artists, and we have a passion for life and for, freedom. And I think that's probably what draws people like us into trading.
Mm-hmm.
But you're a musician, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about that.
So I've played violin since I was a kid. It was always like my first language. My older sister plays violin and is a really beautiful player, and my mom's a cellist. So I just grew up with it, like in the womb, with those vibrations in the womb. So it's like in my DNA and in everything. And I just love it. It's just gorgeous. And you can create something, like all art, right? You can create something out of nothing. And I think that's really powerful. And it's always really transformative to me. So violin and piano since I was a little kid, and I was doing classical, and then I couldn't hang anymore in that community, in that culture. Really, it was a bit punishing. I'm already a perfectionist, and it just amped that up for me. And people are a bit cutthroat, at least where I was in college. So I split, and now I have a metal band, and I moved to Paris because the scene's super thriving here, and I feel like they really embrace the full, like what it is to be human and what it is to be an artist and what it is to be brave and everything that maybe some people, I don't know, in American culture are a bit afraid of. I think they just open the doors to it here, and I feel very welcomed. So music is everything to me. I don't know what I would do without it,
Yeah. What's your band called?
Well, the band is called Nitrous M1.
Okay.
It's actually my handle in the Discord. That's the name. And so the story with that name is it's a galactic female avatar superhero, like a comic book mythology there. And she comes to Earth to restore unity and justice. And there's this whole, just trying to tap into these collective myths or archetypes, I think, that people have, and maybe what we're trying to do on the planet right now and why things are so insanely topsy-turvy. And there's this huge rebalancing going on. And I feel like music is a really powerful voice for that. So that's what I'm trying to bring through with it. So
that's really cool. I definitely see you as that, that feminine hero that's like using all your strength and power to be a positive force in the world. That's really cool.
Thanks. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. And I like the music too. I've been listening a little bit on Spotify. It reminds me of some other music I've listened to in the past. Right now I'm like, I don't remember like specific bands, but I think it's so cool to bring in that classical element, like the violin in your classical training, and it creates so much more depth,
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's really cool. So the band, you are, I guess are you the vocalist and
Yeah.
violinist?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I founded the band over 10 years ago and have been writing the songs and just like driving the whole thing.
Hmm.
And I sing and play at the same time, which is tricky. So
Okay.
now it's way more like that first album, Dreams and Devastation. It
Hmm.
has a little bit of metal, like on that Fire song, like I'm kind of going into that direction. But now it's just like full on scream, try scream, and just like no holds bar. And those are the
Okay.
kind of players I found here in Paris. So it's different. And now I have a guitar player. So some of the weight is taking off me as a front person. So I can kind of lean on my players, and they're fabulous players. I couldn't have a better band. Like I'm so thrilled. And they're amazing people.
Yeah,
So
a good team is so important.
oh my
People who will
God.
be
Yeah.
supportive and, you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. It can make or break you depending,
Hmm.
it's really key. And I think, I don't know if you feel this way as an artist. Is that all of your art behind you?
It's a mix of my art and also things I've collected. The moon photos, like this one. Oh, my directions. Okay, this one. I can look behind me. I don't have to look at the
I know.
camera. This
Yeah,
one.
it's flipped.
They were taken by an astrophotographer that goes by Cosmic Background, and he's either James McCarthy or Andrew McCarthy, depending on what platform I'm looking at his work on. But on Instagram, it's Cosmic Background, and I was on Reddit like, I don't know, 3 4 years ago, and there was an image of the moon he took that was on the front page. It was like this viral image. It was so beautiful. Clicked the link, found his page. I was just in love, you know, just the detail with the moon. And so for like the next few months, I would just watch and I would wait for these prints to come up for sale. And I ordered 3 of them in total.
Yeah.
And I don't regret it. You know, the moon is such a powerful symbol, and it's, so beautiful. This one's Robert Downey Jr., and he's on his llama farm and he's in a bunny suit, and I just thought that was so endearing,
Yeah.
to see a man just being so successful, but then just like, kind of making fun of himself and having a good time. And that was for a fundraiser. But then I've also got some photos I took in my photography classes, some sketches I've done, like this fox
Good.
that was
I
high
love
school.
that.
And then I've got a little dude behind me. Where is he? Here's a dude right there behind me. This
Yeah.
one, he's been with me for like 5 or 6 years. I had an impression, and so I made that drawing.
I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Your
So
lines and the weight of them and the arc of everything. It's cool.
thank you. Also, I am wearing pants. I know I just stood up there. I've got these shorts on. I don't know. I just thought about it. I was like, oh, I'm like, okay.
No, it's so hot in Paris right now. I'm like barely wearing anything. It's so hot. I don't care anymore. I'm human, have a body. Like it's
Exactly.
or whatever.
But yeah, I'm very proud of my art. I'm very proud of my collection, so I display it here.
It's great.
Yeah, one of my drumline buddies made this for me in high school, so that was really nice. Drumline was fun. I mean, it had its social awkwardness, but it was a good time. So,
what did you play?
I played snare drum, traditional
That's
grip.
the front and center of the drum line, Sarah.
Yeah, I was the best.
That's amazing.
I was really good. There were some licks that I could play, but the other guys couldn't, and they would have to take it out of the score because it's no good if only one drummer can play it. That happened at least once. So
that's badass.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Ripping.
Yeah. But anyway, so how did you end up in the training arena? Like how long have you been doing that?
My here. God only knows, right? Like, it was never, ever on my radar. And then I remember a friend sent me, before GMEs really popped off,
Mm-hmm.
sent me an article, and I wish I would have paid attention to it then, because it was so cheap then. He's like, and he said, oh, it's about gaming. And I was all, whatever, I don't care. Like that I never have done video games, nothing wrong with it. It's just, it's not in my, it's not a part of my life. And so but then I started paying attention to it when I don't even remember why. I just started seeing about GameStop, and then I realized that's the main line of money. And that's how people make real money. Like, it's never about your worth. It's never about, and I've known that, but we're told these lies that if you work, right, the big lie, like if you work hard, you'll make good money and you'll be sustainable in your life. And it's not true. And they can actually, and then what was it before COVID, when they shut down the economy and just it's like, oh, wow, okay, so you really need to it just made sense to me. Like, that's how the game is played. I'm going to figure out how to play the game. And money's always been a struggle for me because I hate bosses. I hate having an authority figure in my life. I don't actually believe in it. I don't have a lot of respect for people who try to tell me what to do or try to own my soul for a job. Like, it's not, I've gotten fired from more jobs than I can remember. And I just want to play music. That's it. And I'm really stubborn, or I just am really clear. Maybe I'm clear. And so I think that having this opportunity to learn this, and then kind of watching some people, and then watching Jamie and Rocky and how they started talking about it, I knew that they were sharing something that was deeper wisdom than just how to make $1 million in a day. Like, there's this life wisdom in there that I really resonated with and still do. And then that's it. I'm in. So.
Yeah, totally. Especially since they never sell a miracle strategy, or a guarantee. It's always about, like, you are going to learn how this works, and I can guide you, and I can tell you what these things mean and what they do, but you're going to learn this and you're going to figure out that strategy.
Yeah. And that's the truth, right? I think, especially having lived in California for a while, you really get to know the guru archetype.
Yeah.
And anyone is asking you to give them your power, it's a huge red flag. And I've seen that a lot in the spiritual community, and I steer clear. And so I recognize that also in different sects of our culture. And they're all about empowering yourself and that truth. And that's really crucial right now, I feel, just like culturally where we're at.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's hard. And I think that they obviously, they know it's hard. So, and yeah, they're amazing.
So I know that you haven't taken the course yet. Is that something you would plan on doing someday, or are you like?
I did, actually. I
took
it. I took it in the beginning. I went through the course.
Okay.
Yeah. And and I did it
tell
on
me about that.
I wasn't in a group to do it. I led myself through it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, but you've been very active in the Discord, and I've noticed, like, you ask a lot of really good questions, really utilize that feedback. How's your experience with that been?
It's good. People are really kind and helpful. And it's always hard for me to speak up in there because I am inherently shy in that respect. And I don't want to, I think I'm an idiot with training. So I don't want to, whatever. Like, I just don't want to show my hand, but it's there. And I think that I know that. So I do try to count myself out in that way, just like raise my hand and be part of it. And people
Yeah.
are wonderful. They're always wonderful. They always counter that voice that's like, no one wants to hear from you. The bully voice in my head. Everyone's really kind. They're like, you can do this. And it just is such a supportive, empowering group. And it's a diverse set of experiences and opinions and strategies and perspectives on it that it's cool. It's really
Yeah.
helpful. And I think it's really hard to keep a community like this so it's healthy. Like
That's true.
that's a feat. So well done to Rocky and Jamie for doing that, you know.
Yeah, back again to the, the importance of a healthy team that's supportive and it's not run by egos that, need to establish dominance all the time. Yeah.
That's really tiresome.
Mm-hmm.
It just evolves. Like it's only a matter of time before those communities just devour themselves. So
Yeah. So are you trading a lot right now? Are you kind of on a break?
I'm on a break.
Me too. It's hard.
Okay. I had to take a break.
Yes.
I was so this whole, ever since I really moved to Paris, which was last August, trading has been the main part of my day. And I've just been going through the ringer and learning a lot. And I recognize that that's part of it when you're learning, and I would spend like 8 hours a day trading, either learning or trading or whatever, all of the different aspects of it. And I think I just needed a break because I was hitting a point where my life has certain stressors in it right now that I need to be like, I've been a little unbalanced because I'm in a foreign country. I'm on a visitor visa, which means I don't work in France right now.
Okay.
I work online overseas. I have to renew my visa shortly. And when I didn't realize this, but maybe it's obvious to people and people that have already done this, when you move overseas, certain things that used to maybe not affect you so much really knock me out. Like they really knock me off center because I don't have my typical foundation at all. Like that's gone. So I think that trying to trade or learning how to trade in that scenario has been difficult, but it's also perfect because I'm shown really quickly what works and what doesn't. And I've had really good runs and I've learned a lot, and I know that I'll persevere and I'll pick it up again and probably this week and, start again. It's just, I have to be careful because I can, because I get scared.
Yeah. I understand that need for basic stability before doing something as uncertain and challenging as making good trades, making good decisions, and it's so connected to your security because you're dealing with money and you're risking your wealth, which is your time and your effort. And if things go really, really wrong, then you lose your stability, and that would throw you off a lot. And
I want it, it's also something that I fiercely want, and I know I keep thinking, like, if those yahoos on Wall Street can do it, so can we, right? Like, come on, it's just, but I'm not saying they're dumb. Obviously, like it's a very difficult thing to do and to learn, and that's very apparent to me now. I'm not denying it at all.
But there's sort of this lie out there that financial literacy and trading concepts are just too difficult for the average person.
Yeah, that's the gatekeeping. Yeah. And it's not true.
It's not. So are you kind of hoping that like you're going to get, you're just going to master this and then like you'll never have to worry about money again? Do you have specific goals or like a vision?
Yeah, my vision is always to support my music
Okay.
and to go at the speed that's natural for me.
Okay.
So I feel like generally in our society, unless you do just have wealth, money slows you down. Oh, you have to wait for this or do that. You can't just make your decisions and go without that as a block. So that's what I want. I just want to be able to manifest my vision. And so,
Same.
yeah, right.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
like I know what I want. I know I can do it. I have the skill, like I have the people, and I just want to do it. I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
And so that's what my goal is like you said in the beginning, it's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
It's freedom. And I understand that this is the way.
Mm. And it's challenging. It's like it's the next mountain that you just have to climb.
Yep. Yeah. And do you feel this way? Like I was thinking so much after our session last night too, that it's about how we identify ourselves, who we think we are, who we've been in the past,
Yeah.
who we give ourselves permission to be. Like, can you give yourself permission to actually win at this?
Right. Yeah, especially coming from maybe a personal history. Like I know for me, I experienced a lot of failure and disappointment, and you know, whatever I've got going on, whether it's ADHD or just instability of some kind, I found it very difficult to apply myself when I tried going to college, and it was like hit or miss. If it was the spring and the weather was getting better, I might pass a class, but if it was like winter and I was feeling bad, I would just drop out. So I have this history where I see myself and I feel disappointed, like, oh my goodness, like I'm not where, other healthy, successful 28-year-olds are, in my life. So it can be very disappointing. And in a lot of ways, learning how to trade and mastering this, it's definitely for the financial stability long term, but that self-identity thing where I need to know I'm the kind of person that can get good at something and can learn and can achieve, and I don't have to be disappointed in myself.
I see absolutely no reason for you to be disappointed in yourself. I think you're amazing.
Well, thank you.
And yeah, I totally agree. Like I have the same thing. I feel I have so many things, as we all do, right? We all have things that we go through. And I think we're our harshest critics, and that's our experience being human. Like we know what we have in our heart and we know what we want to live. And it's hard to not have that be in our present day. And I think that's the thing that's like both exhilarating and scary about trading, is that you're taking that into you're taking hold of that. And you're saying, I'm going to take responsibility for this. And that Jamie speaks about that so much.
Yeah.
The master of your own destiny. And I think when you do that, obviously you have to face certain parts of yourself that are freaked out or don't know how to do it. Because how would you know? How would you know how to trade if you've never?
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like, yeah, it is all part of the process. We live in a culture that wants us to be dependent on the system, that wants us to give up our power, that doesn't tell us that we're amazing just because we are breathing. Like
Right.
that alone, that we're alive. I mean, I know it sounds cheesy, but for crying out loud, like.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's easy to take, just the fact that we exist for granted. Like it's not this absolute miracle,
Yeah.
like, the cosmos is huge, and there's like billions of years of history, and it took so much time in just like the perfect conditions for us to even be possible, you know? And that's incredible, you know? It's
Yeah.
easy to forget or not think about it. You just lose that enthusiasm. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just a regular person, you know?
Like no one's regular. No one's regular.
Yeah. No,
It's like,
I've never met a regular person.
no. And if they're telling you that they're normal, like,
Yeah.
okay, you can tell me how you really feel later when you're right or whatever. But it's, yeah, like, and I think that's the thing that about this whole process that's cool is that it just reveals that, like, and it's just weird. It's weird that it's around money. It's weird that it's around these charts that like tick up and down all day.
Yeah.
Because you have to make a decision. And it's much easier to just go to work. And
True.
in a way, it's easier. It depends on who you are, maybe.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. You know, I deliver for Amazon and it's a challenging job and it took a really long to get used to it. But for me, when I'm laying the groundwork for this, on the days where I go to work and I earn my paycheck and, you know, I can see I definitely have the money I need for this month. You know, I can absolutely cover all my bills and I'm going to be fine. And while I'm out here, I know exactly what to do. And I don't have to sit there and decide, ooh, am I going to take this package or not? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just going to. So it's like a break from the heavier thinking, the more complex thinking and like the greater risk. So it's hard and I'm going to need something more sustainable for like when I'm older, you know, because it's really hard on my body.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is easier. It is.
In that way, right?
In that way,
like,
yeah.
Easier in that way because you know, okay, time for money. You show up, you get paid. Boom, done. And when you take a trade, it's like, yeah, oh my God. You have to deal with everything all the time. It's wild to me. Like, how do you ever get used to that? I guess they say you get used to it, but it's also exciting because I think like yourself, like you're an artist and you want to thrive. And I think when you have that, you know, your potential, like how can we not try to give that reality to ourselves?
Yeah, for sure. I'm also curious about something. So you say like back to your music. Like like your first album, or I don't know if it was your first album.
It was the first album for the band.
For the band, okay. You're talking about how it was like maybe a little lighter, whatever that means, and now you're doing like the full metal vocal fry stuff. Did you have to like learn that singing technique kind of recently?
Yeah, I'm practicing it. I mean, not recently. Yes.
Somewhat?
It's very hard. It's very hard.
It is.
Yeah, you have to learn because you can't just belt out and scream because you're gonna tear up your vocal cords.
Right.
And so there are a lot of people that teach it online about the technique.
I've seen some tutorials. I may have tried it. I can't do it.
You could do it. You just have to find the place, right? It's like right here. Because everyone has, you know, it's like when people have vocal fry, they talk in vocal fry.
That's true. I do have that. I have vocal fry.
Yeah, we all have it. It's like finding that. So I think once you find that place in your voice and you understand how it works, you can do it.
Sure.
And it's fun. It's really liberating to have that range too, emotionally. So
yeah. Would you say that technique is like a lower register, like you're hitting more bass notes, or is it still like kind of in the?
It's definitely high. Like
okay,
I can't figure out what a false chord scream is to save my life. I don't know if I'm doing fry or false chord. I can't tell. I'm probably doing fry. Who knows? But I have to keep it up high.
Okay.
And I don't actually really, maybe eventually I'll find that lower scream just to have that tone
Mhm.
color change, but the
Not
sound I
yet.
like best anyway is like a pitched higher, you know.
Okay,
Scream.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I won't make you do it if you're not comfortable.
I can't do it. No, I'm not going to punish people.
Oh, okay, fine.
You can do, yeah, there are some amazing vocal teachers out there, and like the sounds that they get, I don't actually enjoy them all, but they're extremely impressive.
I've been
And they
trying
can
to
do
hit those, what do they call them? Like those bass tones.
yeah,
Subharmonics.
like, yeah, the low, like a demon scream.
Yeah, or not even like screaming, but just trying to see if I can hit like my own subharmonic
Mhm.
and get like as low a note as possible. So I watched some tutorials on that, and it was funny because it was like the middle of the night, and I live in an apartment, and these walls are like paper, so it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sitting there in my room going, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
and
I hope
your
there's no
neighbors are like,
kids.
what's going
They're like,
on there?
call the priest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I screamed, I was actually recording. I did a scream on one of my songs called "Nothing at All," and I was still in Oakland. I put a blanket over my head at midnight and cranked the reverb on my microphone. Just because the interesting thing about doing it is that it's not actually very loud. Like you're
Okay.
not forcing out. It can be, but you have a microphone to help you, and you just want to relax a bit more. But I wonder if you would be into throat singing. Have you looked at
Maybe.
that?
Not a lot, but it does seem interesting.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, it
Because
would.
that makes me think of like the subharmonic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something I would get into.
That'd be
There's singers in my family. I've always been kind of interested in singing in general, but
cool.
like the lower techniques, that was not something my family was into. They were more like opera, classical. So it's
Yeah,
cool to like realize, oh, I don't have to have like 3 octaves high to be considered a good
yeah,
singer. I can do other
absolutely not.
things. That's freeing.
Yeah, totally. And you can rip
Yeah. Yeah.
and be true
Um,
to yourself, whatever that is.
yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
I know. It's great.
They're
Yeah.
like people have their own voice.
Yeah. Everyone has a voice.
Yep. Um, yeah, I've grown to believe that anyone can sing because there's so many styles. And I grew up believing that only special people could sing.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Right?
If you had a good voice, it was because you
No.
were special. And if you didn't have one, you weren't special.
We're not special.
Yeah.
And there's that air. There's that air about certain people too, you know?
Uh-huh.
The diva. Like, well, let's do that, you know?
Uh-huh.
Everyone has something to say. And
Yeah.
it's like literally everyone has a throat. So you can sing, like you can
Yeah.
figure out how to use that.
If you can
Oh,
breathe
like,
and you can talk.
yeah. There you go. It's like what you said about the money trading knowledge. People think only the elite can have the knowledge.
Yeah.
You look at them and you go, what? If you can do it, we can do it. We're no different.
Yeah, or I'm gonna sell you this one trading strategy and don't try to make your own.
Right.
You're not smart enough.
And it doesn't even work for them. But if it doesn't work for you, it's your fault.
Yes. Yeah.
It's great. Like,
So
all right.
amazing. So amazing
Yeah.
how that works.
Yeah. Like if everyone were just a bit more honest about, I think, what they went through, maybe we would all feel a bit more normal for having a human experience. Because it's intense. I mean, whatever. It's beautiful, you know? It's like chaos in a body. I'm
Yeah.
going to go bring my cat. I'm going to
Okay.
bring He needs attention. It's super
You
hot.
see, Madeline. Oh my goodness. Hello, kitty. What's the kitty's name?
Madeline. I have two.
Madeline.
Yeah, Madeline and Nipa. They're Parisian. Mesha. They're Parisian cats. You know?
Oh.
Hot. cat.
Oh, I love kitties.
Do you have a cat?
I have a cat that is mine, but
Yeah.
she lives at my aunt's house
Okay.
because she's used to the property. She's kind of an outdoor cat. It's a really
Yeah.
safe area. And I moved into an apartment, so we decided,
That's hard, no?
yeah. But I check in on her sometimes, and she's kind of wild, so if I
Okay.
go to visit my aunt, I might see my cat, I might not.
She's doing her own thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's-
You know, I would totally get a cat, like if I bought a house, and this is one of my goals. I would like to buy a house and then, you know, like adopt a cat that's maybe an indoor cat that can be more of like a companion for the office or like, you know, if I'm working for home. And, you know, the idea is if I'm so good at trading and maybe I'm just podcasting or whatever, I will be working
Right.
from home. So it'll be perfect. It is the perfect life.
Yeah, it's a perfect
Yeah.
life, and you can totally do it. And your
Yeah.
cat like sit there like mine does in front of the charts.
You know, cats imitate human behavior. The reason they will sit on your laptop, it's because they see you sitting in front of it and they're like, what's going on here? And they're mirroring you. So if you
Right
get
in
your
front of it.
cat, if you get your cat a miniature laptop, it will sit in front of that laptop.
Oh,
And
that
it
makes me really sad.
Yeah.
'Cause we shouldn't be in front of the damn things forever.
They make them
But they are. Yeah, I mean, animals are incredible.
Yeah. You're so smart.
Yeah, they are so smart. They're amazing.
Um,
Yeah.
So I asked you the other day if you'd read any of Gabor Mate's books, and you told
Yeah.
me that you've been falling asleep to When the Body Says No.
Yes. Yes.
Are you
It's very
getting some? How
calming.
you like it?
I don't remember any of it
Then
at all. I think I've gotten like 5 pages into the
yeah.
like through the intro.
Is
Which is
he
good,
reading
but-
it?
What's that?
Is it him reading it?
No, it's the book.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the PDF.
Oh, okay. So you're reading it,
I
and
read it.
it's
as
not
I'm
an
talking about.
audiobook, and you're just like, and then you fall off, which is
No.
funny because one of his things that he points out is like, if you have ADHD, you might find yourself getting really sleepy if you're trying to do a task that is stressful to you. That's not the same as reading a book that you enjoy and it's relaxing, and you're just like, but
Right.
I found if I'm trying to study and I sit down and I open a chart, I'm instantly like, I need to go to bed.
Exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how does that? I mean, what do you do with that?
What do you do with that?
Yeah, like, is there a way? Because there are certain times where I just get, it's like I check out and I get overwhelmed, I think, and I'm just like, I need, my therapist calls it hypo something. Like you want to just be knocked out.
Is hyposomnia?
Yeah, it's something. It's like a trauma response, actually. For me, where I get in certain situations and I'm like, I can't help. It's like I have narcolepsy, you know.
Right.
But I just feel like, how do we take care of ourselves, or what do we do to titrate our reaction so we can stay awake and alert? Because I know for myself, I don't know if this happens for you. When I look at the chart, if I'm overwhelmed and I'm not really calm and centered, I just get like information overload. I'm like, how do you?
Yeah.
I could see this trade a million different ways. I feel like that's actually such a big part of being able to trade well, right? Is our focus.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, what you said first was kind of key. It's like, if I'm not calm and focused. So then my question would be, is like, why am I not calm? And like, what would help me become calm in this situation? And that's something I don't really have an answer for yet. There are things I do. There are meditations I have. I've got this sleep hypnosis that I listen to, and it's
Awesome.
literally just like positive affirmations. It's like, I know how to learn. I'm good at remembering things. When I read things, I remember it. Just to combat that negative, like partly why I'm upset is that I look up something, I'm looking at something that's new to me, and immediately I'm like, oh, I'm so stupid. I can't remember anything. This is overwhelming. And I think that's part of the anxiety that comes up,
Yeah.
at least for me. So like, I don't know, it's just figuring it out little by little, like facing it.
Yeah. And I think when you're aware of those voices, because it's painful. It's pain. It's painful to go into a scenario and think that you are horrible because you can't. But if you look at it like compassionately, you can, say, okay, why are you hurt? Why are you stressed? What's going on? Like, what do you need? Because I know, like, I wasn't really brought into the world to do that. To have that nurturing kind of voice. It was real nose to the grindstone kind of thing.
Right. That's,
you have that, or what was it for you?
yeah, a little bit. I also had kind of a unique upbringing, because I've got like 11 siblings, and we were,
Oh, God.
Yeah, so I had some incredible positive experiences because, like, growing up with a lot of siblings, they're like your best friends, but then they're also your worst enemies. And we were definitely taught to be tough and to push through things. And, like, my parents are nurturing people. There was just a lot of us. So, when things get chaotic, it's easy for like more specific emotional needs that we may have had or I may have had to kind of slip through the cracks.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's a lot. That's so much to do.
Yeah. But I remember being homeschooled through 5th grade. Even then, it was very difficult for me, like, to sit down on my own. And a lot of times I was responsible for, making sure I did all my assignments for the day, reading instructions on how to do the assignments. There was a lot of self-learning then. And I remember there were times where I would sit in front of an open math book for like an hour, like paralyzed. And then I would have to stop, do all the other subjects that took me like 5 minutes. And then when I came back, I could do it and something would open up and I wouldn't really know why. And then I was suddenly able to do it and it wasn't that hard. And I think I still experienced something similar. So I think it is about realizing that I get very emotional and it makes it very difficult to do these things. And I might have to spend a lot more time meditating and calming myself down. And that would probably go a long way.
Yeah, I totally feel that, right? I think when you're really sensitive or really turned on emotionally, it makes you a great artist, makes you a great friend, a great like empathic person. And that it's difficult. It's a double-edged sword. Because everything is like constant. You're getting constant influx of information and emotion and all of that stuff. And it's challenging. It's not bad. Like, I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade being alive. I wouldn't trade feeling really alive. I wouldn't want to be checked out or disconnected or compartmentalized. I think it's just good to say, and maybe that's why Wall Street has been full of people that are in suits and drink whiskey at the end of the night, whatever,
right.
Whatever typical personality we associate with that.
Yeah, there is a lot of negative stereotypes.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
it's like, Yeah.
But
Actually
I
made
think
me laugh.
it's
Don't know.
amazing to try to like challenge those stereotypes and bring in people who are sensitive and creative and, you know, and, then make it our space,
Yeah,
and maybe do better things with the
absolutely.
powers that we have available to us.
Absolutely. I feel like there's got to be, once we get through, right, like wrangling the emotions and figuring out how to do that and just
Yeah.
like, oh, and being able to breathe and do it at the same time, that would be enough. But
Yeah.
I feel like everything that we know as artists and our intuition and also being women and having that whole experience too, like there's so much that we bring to the table that I feel like can be really powerful in this field
Mm-hmm.
if we just don't give up.
Yeah, definitely.
Just keep going, and maybe that's, I don't know. It's cool. All these trading videos, it's like men. And I love men. I'm not saying anything disparaging about
Yeah.
that. It's just, it's the visibility of it is definitely skewed. So it would be, I love seeing like powerhouse women like cranking in $1 million. It's like, yes, that's amazing. It's so great to see.
It
And
is.
we'll do that. We'll all do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think trading is really great for women, because a lot of women are breadwinners and also mothers. And,
Yeah.
I would love to be a mother someday. And like with things the way they are in the economy, it's like, yeah, I'm going to be working. I'm going to be a breadwinner. And it would be amazing to be able to work from home and have access to my family. And I think that's incredibly powerful. But like, even if you don't have a family, you still need money. You still need money to do things.
Yeah.
And like, totally can.
You totally can. And it's like, why not have it all?
Yeah.
If it's fiction anyway, and it's numbers on a screen,
yeah,
and it's infinite opportunity and infinite risk. Okay. How do we do it? And I just think that we have a cool community.
We do.
I would not, there's no way I would ever there's no way I would ever do this without it.
Actually, yeah, Sam. I was. And I was like, I can't do this. And I was looking.
Yeah.
I was like, someone help me. Like, this guy's cool. This guy's cool. Okay, these guys seem like they know what they're doing. Okay. All right.
Yeah. How did you find them?
Literally, I was looking for information about GameStop.
Yeah.
Because I made a really good play on it initially. And then, there's still so much hype. And I got back in and I was waiting for something to happen. And I was like, how am I going to know when something's going to happen?
Right.
Initially, my brother just told me and I just believed him, which is the worst way to do things.
That's so great.
Yeah. And it's so bad that it worked out so well for me under those conditions. And I've been through this whole emotional roller coaster of like unpacking that and readjusting my expectations, and it's kind of been a nightmare. But I knew that if something was going to happen, I needed more information so that I would know. So I looked and I found Trade Spotting Stream, and then I found Rocky through that, and then I came to the Discord, and now I'm here.
Right.
Yeah. What about, were you doing something similar? Were you?
Yeah, I don't know. I was probably cruising through YouTube videos. No, was it Reddit? I think I was on Reddit. I don't even look on Reddit anymore because it's just so much static. But it was probably a GME thread on Reddit.
Okay.
And then I think like Tradespot, he did a rant or something.
The viral rant.
Yeah, he was like, I feel the same way.
Perfect. So it worked.
Yeah, it was like complete resonance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was kind of hooked, But I think it's just, I think you know, it's like you see that light and that glimmer of having a potential to have real freedom and stability, and like not only stability, but like
Abundance.
a better word, abundance.
Abundance.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
that word into, but yeah, like
But
as much,
real abundance.
that I
Yeah.
think is our birthright.
Yeah.
Like that's our birthright. And we're in this system that makes us prove our worth to get paid like 20 an hour. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's crap.
Yeah.
That's like,
We can do so much better. And
Yeah.
stop believing the lies that, you know, we're too dumb and that we're in control because we can vote and because we can work hard and achieve.
I know. Please. Right? What was it? Did George Carlin say it? Like if our votes mattered, they wouldn't let us do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on. Really?
Yeah. And you have to be able to protect yourself from whatever
Yeah.
gets thrown out there, from whatever anyone's doing, whatever. Like, no matter how things are going where you live, you can protect yourself from, you know, the consequences of, and I'm not getting into specifics because
I understand.
this is about trading, but
It's about trading. I
it's
hear you.
self-empowerment.
Yep. Sovereignty is the way. Sarah, I totally hear you. Sovereignty is the way. However that's come about, whatever story, you know, and we all believe different things, and but it comes down to human freedom.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
for sure.
If we have to worry whether or not we're gonna, like how I used to live, I don't live this way anymore, but you know, do I choose between paying the bridge toll or in Oakland, or do I eat? I'm gonna eat and fuck your bridge toll. So I'd be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't rack up like thousands of dollars in bridge toll.
Yeah,
that's
that's ridiculous.
Doesn't have to be. That's how I am now. I don't.
Yeah.
But it's dumb. It's just a dumb system, and it pins us down. And I think we're breaking through all those shackles.
Yeah. And I think
And it's cool.
when you have people that are becoming good managers of themselves and like you can spread that culturally, then you might see like smarter decisions made publicly because people are smarter and they're good managers. And that's what I think of when I think of the rising tide that Rocky talks about. It is about helping more people become self-empowered. And I think it lifts up your whole community when you become a good manager of yourself.
Yeah, I love that. And it's like people can't get picked off and isolated. It's like depression will pick you off into a corner and
yeah, well,
and you'll be alone and think that there's no solution. And just having a human to talk to and go, yeah, you're not alone. I totally felt the same way. It's okay. I'm here. What do you need to, just having that connection and having people share this knowledge. It's like, yeah, this is my chart and this is what how I'm seeing it.
And we really do all have each other's backs. Like, there are people that have gone through incredible pain and shame, and myself included, with like, oh my goodness, look at my finances. How did I get here?
Yeah.
And nobody is here to put anyone down for that.
Right.
Or to tell you don't deserve to come back from that because you messed up so bad. You'll never hear that.
No. Because we live in a toxic system. And we're doing our best. That's my belief. We're doing our best to navigate through that. And sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah.
If you don't want to play the game. So I think learning how to master the game is where it's at.
That's right.
It's such a pleasure to talk with you.
Yeah, I think this was fantastic, and we got some great content, and you're amazing and awesome, and I really enjoyed this conversation.
Good. Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. Thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah, sure. And I'll see you on the Discord, and this episode should be out in like I don't know, 2 more weeks.
Soon in
Yeah.
the future.
All right. Well, I'm gonna end it
Have a
here.
wonderful
So
rest of your day.
have a
talk
good
to you
one.
soon.